Morning, everyone. Welcome to my sixth and final session, writing workshop aimed at getting you to put together a collection of stories with maybe the purpose of giving it as a gift to family and friends for Christmas. Ooh. Okay, so I hope you found the sessions useful and that you've managed to pull some stories out of the prompts that I've given you. If you have, let me know in the comments. Let me flick the comments on so I can see people joining in. Hi Irene, morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Hope it's gone well for you. We had Jill B put some comments on last week, which I found really lovely. Thank you, Jill. She says, I'm writing my stories about my life, mostly funny ones. That's great. She's thinking about publishing to Kindle and printing it as a book for her grandchildren so they'll know about me when I'm long gone. A collection of stories from childhood to now, including photos such as the house I was born in and the typical prefect badge like the one I wore. A good hobby for anyone. It is, and a great gift to leave your family. And then Jill finishes by saying, leave a footprint for your family. I know nothing about my grandparents. You have to excuse that noise. There's a steam train at the bottom of the garden that has suddenly decided to to make a noise, as they do. Morning, Ursula. Good heavens, I got in. Let's get cracking. Yes, let's get cracking. I do apologise for the little bit of a late start. So today we're thinking about high days and holidays. And as usual, this is a deliberately broad topic so that whatever your life experience is, there might be something that sparks some ideas for you. You can take the prompts in whatever way you like, as always, and just a few snatches that I wrote down that might be relevant. You could be thinking about festivals, you could be thinking about holidays that you've been on, afternoons out, whether with family or friends or work colleagues, groups that you belong to. And they can be memories from long ago, in your childhood or youth, or your more recent years. Last week, if you want to. It's entirely up to you. I had a chat with a lady this week who was asking me, how do I write the stories of my travels? She wanted to record stories of her travel with her late husband. And I said, you just begin. Imagine you're writing a letter to somebody about those travels and just begin. There is no special structure, really. Anything you write, as in these sessions, anything you write's fine. Talking of high days and holidays, it could be a journey on a steam train. Right. As always, remember the session's supposed to be fun. So if you find yourself feeling unhappy or digging up memories that make you feel unhappy, then stop. Don't stress about your spelling or anything. Just get the ideas down. You can tidy them up later. My ideas are jumping off points, which you can do. And as I said last week, write or draw. Write, draw, record them on something as you like. Go at your own pace. Rewatch the recorded session later if you need to. And don't forget to say hello in the comments. I like nothing more than reading your comments and being able to read them out to everybody. It's nice to know who's out there listening and whether you're enjoying this and finding it useful. If you do, type in little things, in little thoughts that come to you from my prompts, type them into the comments too. So the first activity then, high days and holidays. Well, I Googled to see a definition. Sometimes if I'm stuck with starting something, I will Google a definition, define such and such. And in beginning to write the definition, it often leads me into the topic. So there's a tip for you. So on a dictionary of idioms, I found Farleck's Dictionary of Idioms from 2017. It said, high days and holidays, special occasions, informal. In the church's calendar, a high day was the day of an important festival. A holiday, originally holy day, were similar but less specific. Holiday now refers to any day off without any sacred significance, and so holy day is used if a specifically religious occasion is intended. So my prompts, as I say, are broad, but you can think of religious holidays, religious holy days, as you wish, or just general informal times when you've had fun. There's a quote from a book on the dictionary that said, "I was too busy looking out for all of you. I only danced on high days and holidays." Okay, so what I thought we could do first, which I haven't done for a while in one of my writing groups, is to come up with a list. I'm going to make this really short. I'm going to have to use this timer, slightly different timer. I love these because you can actually see the time disappearing on these ones, so it aids my overthinking brain to see the time ticking away. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write a list of high day and holiday songs. I've given one away. Happy birthday, the general happy birthday song. But any songs that you can think of that refer to high days and holidays, feel free to stick them in the comments. So my first one, happy birthday. Go, 2 minutes. I've got my noisy ticker. Halfway through. Has anybody got any? There you go, the ticker's gone off. So, Ursula says, Auld Lang Syne. Yeah, that's a great one for New Year's Eve, particularly. The national anthem, Six Nations rugby national anthems. Yeah, they're good choice also, Ursula. And for He's a Jolly Good Fellow or She's a Jolly Good Fellow. Very good, thank you. I've got, I thought that there was a song by Billy Joel about when his baby was born, and I can't find it. So I may have got that wrong. I know there is certainly Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder, so that was a special occasion. So I've got Happy Birthday, the general Happy Birthday song, but also Happy Birthday, which was the anthem for Martin Luther King by Stevie Wonder. Isn't She Lovely, Stevie Wonder. Lady in Red by Krista Berg. I don't know why I put that one in, other than that it's, I don't know, special day. They're out, a couple out, going out, and he's telling her she looks nice. in the dress. Driving Home for Christmas. We're going down the Christmas route by Chris Rea. Holiday by Madonna. And then Summer Holiday by Cliff Richards. And I can't remember the name of his group. If anybody knows, put it in the comment. Shadows, there you go, got it. Cliff Richard and the Shadows. I'm Glad I Crashed the Wedding by Busted, which is a fun one. And I'm going to admit, I Googled this one because I got the name wrong. Going to the Zoo by Peter, Paul and Mary, which I thought was called We're All Going to the Zoo Tomorrow. It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want To. Hopefully none of you are writing about parties of your own that you cried at. And then I've got the Easter Parade. And again, I can see the singer in the film. No, it's gone. Day Trip to Bangor, which again I thought was Didn't We Have a Lovely Time? Fiddler's Dram. Didn't we have a lovely time the day we went to Bangor? And then I've got Celebrate Good Times, Cool and the Gang. Lovely Day by Bill Withers. Carnival is Over by The Seekers, one of my favourites as a child. I may have told you that story before. Get the Party Started by Pink. And Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. That is one that if I can't get out of bed, I put it on Spotify and it helps me get up. Let's get this day started, Alison, kind of thing. Some more from Ursula. Julie Felix, Going to the Zoo. Oh, okay. Judy Garland, thank you. It was Judy Garland in the Easter Parade. Thank you. Right then. So that was just a quick activity to warm us up a little bit. And maybe some of those will be useful to you. So you could, in the next activity, use those to write about if you want. So what I was going to get you to do next is to another quick list. Create a list of high days and holidays in your memories. So as I said, they can be from your childhood, they can be in your youth, and more recently. We had that. We are beginning to have more high days and holidays, aren't we now? Post-COVID world. So the things on your list, they might be occasions that you have photographs of, or they might just be in your memory, a mental picture of high days and holidays you've experienced. And if you get stuck with those, you could just jot down a calendar of high days and holidays over the year. Like January would be New Year's Day, and my son's birthday, and move through the year and jot down the calendar of high days and holidays that you can remember. So just keep going. Again, it's going to be another quick activity. I found my noisier ticker. I'll use that, my little cheap £2 one from Tesco's. So yeah, create a list of high days and holidays from your past or near present. I'll give you, let's try 4 minutes and see how we do. It can be birthday parties, engagements, weddings, christenings, day trips to places, annual fairs, end of term plays for your children, or if you work in education, or camping holidays with youth groups. Maybe that was a Duke of Edinburgh award in the summer, where you did the long weekend where you have to practice the skills that you've learned. Theme parks. The time you went to the zoo, any religious festivals and celebrations that are on your list, and ones that come around annually. Coach trips. And I put that on my list yesterday. I suddenly remembered a coach trip I'd forgotten all about. So yeah, talking too much. 4 minutes to write a list of high days and holidays you can remember. So, if you want to, you could use the opener, the time I went, the time I... Okay, that's the 4 minutes up. Just have 1 minute to finish off. Okay. Right. So what did you get? Pop 1 or 2 in the comments if you like to. Nice to hear from you. I keep saying that, don't I? Because it's true. Right, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowed me down because I was writing the time I went every time, but that's fine. A couple popped up that I weren't expecting. So I've got the time I went to Alton Towers with the Sunday school when I was about 10, I would think. Very different Alton Towers then to what it is now. More of a country estate than anything. The time I went on a coach trip to Buxton with my dad and my grandparents. I suddenly realised my mum wasn't with us. And she may have been either pregnant with my little brother or he was young, so she didn't come. And again, I hadn't thought of that ever before. Where was Mum? Why wasn't she there? The time I went camping at a festival with my friend Dina and her group of friends. First time in my 50s camping. The summer weekend, I went to my brother's post-wedding tea party in his garden in Newcastle. He and his wife had been together a very long time and snuck off one lunchtime just to get married, and then they had a party some weeks later. It was very good fun. The time I went to my wee cousins, he was very wee, young enough to be my son really. The time I went to my wee cousin's christening in a really old church in Staffordshire, I think it was. It may have been Lichfield. Is Lichfield in Staffordshire? It's a lovely church, I remember, and a lovely little area around it, wherever it was. The time I went on the school trip to the old country estate, when again I was probably 12 then, with a small steam train and its own zoo. Had one of these little steam trains. As old country estates sometimes have these bonkers things. It's now a hotel. The time I went to my first ever writing conference in York and loved every minute. Made some really good friends and realised that I could write. And then another school trip, this time as a teacher. The time I went on the school trip to the zoo and the year 6 boy threw a bubble gum in at the orangutan. Just as we told them, don't feed the animals. And then there's the orangutan chewing gum. Okay. Right. So I guess by now you know what I'm going to ask you to do. So you've got your list of holidays and holidays, which may involve festivals, which is fine, obviously. I'm just going to remind you that there are quite a few recorded writing sessions that I've done for the Virtual Village Hall on YouTube. And if you go back and look at some of those, are themed around particular festivals. So definitely winter festivals is one of them. There's a couple of Christmas prompting ones. So if you wanted to write specifically about Christmas, with that coming up, there are some specific prompts on YouTube. But you could write about Christmas from your prompts now. I'm going to ask you to, we're on 11:30. Choose one of the events in your list or on your calendar that you may have created and write about it in more detail. So, and as I say, if you don't want to do that, you could choose one of the songs. I'll give the promptings for that. If you're choosing one of the special days from your list, I want you to, in your piece of writing, explain what the occasion was. So my brother's wedding, I would say it was my brother's wedding, his post-wedding get-together. When exactly was it, roughly? Roughly, how old were you? How did you get there? How did you travel there? Who did you travel there with? And where was it, in fact? Where was that event? Who did you go there with? How long did it take place over? Was it a weekend event? Was it a holiday of a longer period of time? Was it a few hours, like a party? Was it a daytime event or an evening event? Staying over in a hotel event? And just describe it as if you were writing a letter to a friend about it. The memories that strike you particularly about the thing that you went to, the clothes that you wore, the people you were with, the food that you ate, the music that was playing, if it was that kind of event. And in particular, remember to note things in your memories, given that these are stories for people possibly to read in future. Note things in those memories that may not be current now. So I was having a chat with our young intern at the arts body that I work for this week, and she came in and said, "I've just seen my first record player." And I was amazed to think that there are people in existence who have never seen a record player. So imagine that for some of those things that you're describing in your piece of writing, there will be somebody who's never seen them and would need a little bit of information to understand. Nowadays, it's all digital media. And you don't need a DJ to bring in boxes and boxes of his entire album collection in case somebody asks them for an obscure song. But anyway, so yeah, write about the event that you went to. And if you don't want to do that, you can choose between your songs. So if you're writing about a song from the list, it might be a song that reminds you of a particular event. So Oops Upside the Head isn't on my list, but it's a song that reminds me of a particular wedding that I went to at the time that it came out. Obviously, I've heard it at other events since, so yeah, it might be a song that reminds you of a particular event related to the theme, or otherwise. It doesn't have to be related to high days and holidays. It might remind you of where you first heard it, or when you bought it, or maybe somewhere you danced to it, whether that was a special event or not. Tell that story. So, yeah. Let's get cracking with the writing. I'm going to go for a little bit longer this time. Let's try the 7-minute one. 7 minutes seems to be a good number for us. So 7 minutes on the clock. Choose either a memory or a song title and go. Okay. Okay. That's very rough, but I think to finish off the sentence that you're on. Right, so out of my list of 8 memories that I have chosen the time I went camping at a festival with my friend Dina. The time I went camping at the festival with my friend Dina, the biggest draw was that she'd got free tickets. She'd invited me for a walk one weekend at a particularly low point in my life when I was convinced I'd never be happy again and there was nothing hopeful in it to look forward to. We're going to festival. Hang on. Come camping with us, she'd said as we walked in pouring rain over a particularly rocky local outcrop. We're going to festival. I can't, I said pathetically. I've never been camping. I don't have any stuff. You don't need stuff, she smiled. Just yourself. We've got all the gear. Come on. We've got all the gear. Just bring yourself and a camp bed and a sleeping bag and maybe some of that food you need for yourself. I don't know what kind of things celiacs eat. But I snore, I said, pathetically still. It's a big tent. You'll be fine, she laughed. And if it's bad, we'll wear earplugs. You'll love it. And I could do with your help. We do activities for children in the day, and then you're free to watch the bands in the evening. Come on, she said. You'll love it. And I went, and you know what? She was right. I did. There you go. And I did snore. I know I snored because I woke myself up. But it was a big tent and nobody killed me. Nobody died. We got wet. We got blown around by the rain. And it started me off camping, which is very strange. I've been several times since. Right. So that's that. I hope you got a good story out of that. And it prompted some good memories. We are on quarter 2. I've got 15 minutes. Storming ahead. Right. Okay, so yeah, and I was going to say, as I say every time, so you'll have quite a long list. I had 8 prompts there. Some of them about similar activities. A couple of them coach trips, a couple of them school trips. One as a child and one as a teacher. Whatever, but you could go back to those and do the same sort of thing. Write in more depth about each memory. So you can take that for any holiday on your list. But you could, if you wanted to, choose a second one that highlights the differences between the 2 time periods. So I could write the one of me going to the festival as an aged, creaky-boned woman going camping for the first time, and then write about the festival that I went to last summer. Still an older, creaky-boned woman, but how much more practiced I am at it and enjoying it. And actually acting a little bit as the person saying to somebody else, come on, come with us. You'll cope with this and you'll enjoy it. And they did. So that could be 2 ends of a story that show the same kind of event over 2 time periods. And I was thinking, or you could group them. So if you think of 4 weddings and a funeral, that's a whole film that's made of little pockets of events. There used to be a television series that was predated 4 weddings and a funeral, I think, called A Bit of a Do. I don't know if anyone ever saw that. David Jason going to weddings, and there was a funeral in that one, I think, also. Anyway. Activity 4. So I thought last few minutes, read a few prompts see if a story pops out for you, and yeah, let's go. 7 more minutes on that. I think we'll do 7 more minutes. Let me read them for you. My writing groups sometimes, particularly at the end when we're getting a little tired, they just like a simple sentence and they can go off with it. And sometimes they write fiction with them, and sometimes memories. It's entirely up to you. If you want to write a fictional piece, that's entirely up to you. So, I've got a blank here. You'd never believe how much, there's a name there, a name, or mum, or dad, or we. You'll never believe how much would pack for a day trip away. You'd never believe how much would pack for a day trip away. The next one is, a funny thing happened on the coach trip too. A funny thing happened on the coach trip too. And the next one is, the day we missed the train home from somewhere. What happened when you or a fictional character missed the train home from that special trip? My first time at a theme park was in, and then whatever. Or my top 3 favourite holidays were, and why. Maybe a paragraph for each. My top 3 favourite holidays were, and why. If I put 7 minutes on the clock and stick to it religiously, that'll just give us time, I think, to share 1 or 2. 3 minutes left. Okay, just finish that bit off. Okay, again a bit rough, but something I could knock into shape later and might be interesting to a modern audience to notice the difference. So, my first time at a theme park was when I was 9 or 10, and I went on a Sunday school trip to Alton Towers. It seems now a strange place to go to for a Sunday school trip. You might have expected to be taken to a church or some religious activity. But I realise as an adult now that trips of such sorts have a long heritage and are more about allowing young people to experience a leisure activity they might otherwise not get to go on through lack of spare cash for such trivialities in their family, or through not having a car. And certainly the greater majority of children on the trip were from our council estate. Alton Towers then was very different to what it is now, being mostly a pleasure garden with exotic plants and clipped lawns, a small petting zoo and a boating lake, and the most thrilling ride available back then, the cable car that glided over the whole park and which I was too afraid to go on myself. My abiding memory of that day is of tarmac walkways between shrubbed borders, rhododendrons, if I remember correctly, of looking up at the cable cars from the safety of the ground and the anxiety I felt when asked if I'd like to go on it, of standing outside the small gift shop and wishing I had some money so I could go inside and buy one of the tempting gifts I could glimpse through the doorway. So there you go. That's all I remember. Nothing else. Cheese sandwiches are popping into my mind now, but that's only because whenever I went on a trip at that age, cheese sandwiches were what I was given. And they were always warm by lunchtime. What is that with cheese sandwiches? Okay, there you go. Sorry, I'm babbling on. I hope you enjoyed that activity today. And it prompted some good memories for you. Remember, as I said earlier, this is the sixth and last session of these Write a Book for Christmas sessions. I hope they're previews-ful. If they have, drop us a line. If you've enjoyed them, let us know. And if you get to turn your pieces into books, add comments to these videos. They do appear later, and we love to see them. Send us some photos if you like. And hopefully I'll see you in the new year sometime. Thanks for joining me today.